Welcome. In this video, you will learn what settings are needed to cut alligator hides on the Cricut and how to prepare the materials for cutting to make an alligator hide Stanley Cup koozie. Start a new project and open your downloaded file by clicking the Upload button on the left-hand side of the Cricut design space. Check to make sure you have two base koozie patterns, the pocket and the keychain loop. Once you're ready to start cutting, select Make in the upper right-hand corner. Choose your mat size for cutting. We use a 12 by 12 mat. Alligator hides have different scale patterns, so it's recommended to print the pattern and place it on the hide to determine the best layout for your koozie. You will get a different look for each koozie depending on what part of the alligator you use. The belly and the head portion of the alligator has smaller scales than the tail. This process can also be done using a free vector software program to digitally find a layout and visualize what your project will look like. See our digitizing video linked below. Once the layout is determined, cut off any extra pieces of the alligator hide. I will only be using the belly portion for this project, so I'll cut off the head and the tail. Add transfer tape to the back of the alligator hide to protect your mat. Here I'm tracing around the hide to cut off any excess transfer paper that may get in the way when cutting. Stick it to the back of the hide and use your brayer to make sure it holds. Place it on the mat and use your brayer again. We recommend using a strong grip mat when cutting alligator hides or leather in general. You can add painter's tape around the hide at this step or right before cutting. Next, you'll place your pattern pieces back on the hide where you want to cut them. This will help in the next step when we're placing the patterns in the software. In the Design Space software, move your patterns around using the grid to reflect the patterns on your mat. I could not get the pocket to fit in the design software, so I removed the piece and will cut it later. Once the layout is finished, click Continue in the bottom right-hand corner to open the cut settings. We will be making a new material setting by clicking Browse All Materials and scrolling to the bottom of the window to click Add New Material. Name the new material and click Save. Scroll back up to the top of the material list to find your new material. First, change the blade type to the deep point blade. The thickness of the alligator hide or the leather you're using will determine how many passes you'll make. The thicker hides will need more passes than thinner pieces. For this project, I set it to 4 passes and changed the cut pressure to as high as it'll go at 350. These settings can be adjusted for your leather and should be tested before cutting. Once you're finished, scroll to the bottom again and click Done. Next, click the Browse All Materials button again and search for your alligator hide material you just added. Choose your material and a new window should come up with all the settings we just added. You will leave the pressure to default and you can check that the correct blade is in. Now you can load your mat and start cutting. When it's finished cutting, check to make sure the pieces are cut before taking the mat out of the machine. Cut another pass if needed or use an X-Acto knife to finish. Next, I will follow the same steps again to cut the pocket. For the lining, a vinyl fabric was used. For this, I used the regular green mat and the rotary blade. Once all the pieces are cut, you're ready to move to the construction video.